We are here tonight to talk about assessments, which I'm pretty excited about. I know it can be kind of scary and daunting to go through all the assessments, so I just want to clarify some of these things and break it down really simple for you to hope that this will not need to be difficult for you in order to, like I said, pick the assessment that your students need and potentially even feel more confident in your ability to administer some of these tests. So, we're talking all things assessment. So, if you have any questions, if you're just hopping on, if you want to chat, just let me know and just drop the question. To talk more about assessments or learn more about assessments, this is something you can go back and reference at another time. I also have lots of different videos coming on YouTube that are going to explain a little bit more about each assessment and how I would use those things with special education students. So if you're here and that's your jam, just say hey, just so I know you're here. But I'm going to share some of my favorite assessments for self-contained special education classrooms and talk why I use these ones specifically and what I really do enjoy about them. So the first one that I want to share is this basic skills checklist. It does come in a book. You can find this one on Amazon, which is super awesome. It's the basic skills checklist by Marlene Brittenbach. So it is a book that you would get. I just happen to have a printed version of it. And it is just a checklist. So this is great for the beginning of the year, working with a new student. Maybe you're not as familiar what's going on with it. It is just a basic skills checklist. I will talk more about high school assessments. I see I have a question here about high school assessments. This one, again, is more basic skills components. But I do have a good high school one later in the live here. So, but this is even just colors, shapes, telling time, identifying money, picture to picture, object to object, all of those things. So again, this is the basic skills checklist. I am going to, I'm going to kind of run through these, but if you have any questions afterwards and you want me to answer them specifically, I totally can do that. If you are like, I absolutely love this checklist, just let me know. All right, so that's the first one. Next one I wanted to share with you that is another great back to school, beginning of the school year, new student with you is the basic skills assessment that I created. So this is not criterion based, it's not reference based, but this is my experience of 10 years being in special education and what I know a lot of my schools ask for when they are saying, hey, what skills do these people have? What are we still missing? So in the assessment that I've created, there is things like basic concepts of matching, identifying, all of those things, body parts, categories, sequencing, right? All those things that we find is super helpful. And then there's reading. This is going to get expanded. I'm very excited this year to expand my reading section in here and then also provide material. So if you're looking for assessments coming down the pipeline, I'm going to get the student material side of things for it too. There's math. Again, more basic type math, basic concepts and skills. There's fine motor. Just a quick glance here at some of those themes that you might see. Self-care. There's always good room for self-care to make sure that we're working on as independent skills as possible. Community skills is also in there in different environments. Cooking skills, just again, promoting that independent living as much as possible. And then any independence of like transitioning, calendar skills, home skills, work skills, those types of things. So that's all in there as well. And then there is some social emotional things too, which is really cool to be working on things like interacting with peers, managing your own emotions, coping strategies, those types of things. So if that's what you're looking for, this is in my Teachers Pay Teachers store. There is a Teacher Pay Teacher sale going on literally today. So if you want to pick it up, it's on sale. And like I said, I don't have student materials for it right now, but it is coming. So hang in there. So that's a good, again, just a checklist of things to kind of go over. If you want more information about that, just let me know and I can make sure to get you a better like YouTube video or something to kind of go through what's in there. So let's get into the actual like criterion referenced assessments that many of us already know, but maybe are just not quite understanding. So what I love to use in my experience as a teacher is the ABLES and the AFLs. So it's the assessment of basic language and learning skills and the assessment of functional living skills. So those are like sister tests to each other. My rule of thumb is the ABLES is like the lower grades. That's more of like birth to 12 years old is usually where I'm at with that one. And the AFLs is 2 years old through adulthood or through the lifetime. So this could be a high school assessment as you're looking for one. AFLs definitely works on a lot of that independent living. There are various tests or assessment booklets that you could use. You could do independence, home skills, school skills, community skills. There's lots of different ones. There's like 7 different ones. I usually try to stick to school, home, and community, or school, basic skills, and community, depending on the student. But this is what that would look like. So ABLES and AFLs is set up very similarly. It's got this like lined chart, and based on how many they get correct, they would have some type of bar colored in. And that is based on, let's say, let me go back to something back here. Great. This is your chart they would look at. So I would look at the skill of what it is. So like for this one, asks to go to the bathroom. Does the student is the student able to communicate that they need to go to the bathroom? Either asking words, and then there's a scoring part on it too, which is kind of nice. Communicates the need to go to the bathroom in familiar and unfamiliar places, or communicates the need to use the bathroom in familiar settings. So again, that's how you grade it and score it, and then you kind of get to see progression over years, which I really do like. So each color that you would color it in could be a change in their progression. So like red might be this year, next year might be blue, the year after that might be green. So it's really kind of nice to see the progression and see the progress that is being made because it's like right in front of you. So that's ABLES and AFLs. Both of them look very similar. ABLES is just the like younger grades of that. So again, if you have any questions, you are welcome to comment and I will get to them as quickly as I can. I have 2 more assessments that I'm going to go over. Yep, that is correct. And then I'm just going to end it here because I know there's lots that I could be talking about, but I could be here for an hour and do that. And I don't want to waste your time. So the next one is a big one, is the VB map. You might be very familiar with it. What I like about the VB map is it is criterion referenced. It was created by a BCBA. It is specifically for students with autism. So if you're working with autistic students, then this is the way to go. It is the like language, verbal behavior milestones is what it's really for. And at first glance, it is very daunting. There's the milestones assessment, which is 0 to 18 months. Developmentally, typically is where we're kind of at with that. And then 18 to 30 is their second layer. And then the third layer is 30 to 48 months, which is here. It's in blue. So they're nice color coded, which is really nice for my type A brain of where I need to be. There's also the transition assessment that is a part of it. And then there's a barrier. So if your student is even below what they're calling level 1, that 0 to 18 months progression, there's a barriers assessment that you can give to share more information about what might be impacting them to access this test or access their education. So that is VB Map. Again, I know there's lots that I could go into about VB Map. It does come with a guide book so that you can kind of reference it a bit, but that's VB Map. And then the last one, there's multi-tier here. VB Map, I would say not as much for high school, but this next one, I would say, yes, this is great for high school. And especially our students that are more on maybe an academic track. So we have the Bergantz. It is closer to, like I said, an academic assessment. It helps teachers determine IEP goals, direction where to go with lesson planning, and just in general, like monitoring their progress over time. This is something that we can give multiple times, which is really great. So you could start with something of like the early development one, which again is pretty much like early stages, early development, colors, visual discrimination, pictures, vocabulary, that kind of stuff. And then after that, there's a life skills inventory that you could do as well. Again, this is more maybe functional. Yeah, it's identifying like fruits and vegetables, measurement tools, whole numbers, body parts, that kind of stuff. So traffic signs was a part of it too. So I guess you could be using this with transition or high school age students as well. And then there is a basic skills as well for that one. If you're not looking for more academic, but you want something different, there is that one. And then, oh, here's another yellow one. And then the one that I'm most familiar with is this ELA and math one. So this is the scoring booklet. It does come with a giant packet or a giant book of like student materials that you can flip through and give the assessment. But this actually tests up to 9th grade abilities, which I do really like the variety in it. If I do have students that are maybe working on some higher level skills, like, yeah, translates and simplifies numeral expressions. If anybody knows what that means, go ahead and comment. But things like that, it does have like inequalities, translations, composite figures, congruent figures. So maybe some higher academic things that some of our students may be working on. It does have some functional stuff in it too, but the best part is like, you know, you really don't have to do all of the formal assessment or the full assessment for all of these. But this is a great start if you're looking for some ideas of assessments to buy. So talking about buying. So like I said, that life skills checklist is that first one that I talked about, or the basic skills checklist. Sorry, basic skills checklist. You can find that on Amazon. I think it's like $30. Not bad, something to start you with if you're really looking for something. The basic skills assessment that I created is on my Teachers Pay Teacher store, so that's where you can access that. VB-MAP and ABLES and AFLs are on like websites from people that like actually created it and published it. So like that's where you need to buy it. It's not like sold on Amazon. Don't buy it on Amazon because all of those tests are like thousands of dollars, or hundreds more than what they should be. I think most of those tests are anywhere between like 45 to 75. So again, if you're buying it out of pocket, please don't do that. Try to get your schools to buy it if you're looking for that. And then Bergant's the same thing. It's hundreds of dollars. So because it does come with a lot of materials. So I hope that helps, just kind of breaking down some of the assessments that are most common that you might be using for just baseline, or if you're looking for something to do as a 3-year evaluation. Hopefully this was helpful. If you have any questions, you are welcome to send me a message, comment here, and I will get you as many answers as I can, so that you can use these assessments in your classroom too.